Now, is Parkrun running out of ideas? This is to deal with their ongoing issues surrounding a campaign because trans women were winning in the female category in some courses. Now, the organisation has decided now to remove data and not track the top finishers. So Parkrun argue this will make their free weekly running events more inclusive. But is there more to this?
Joining us now is the long-distance runner and former Olympian, Mara Yamauchi. Thank you so much for joining us here on Good Afternoon Britain. I suppose, on the one hand, lots of people are saying this is to do with trans inclusion. Parkrun haven't said that. Parkrun say that putting all of these times on the website were off-putting for new competitors. But you think they're not telling the whole truth?
Well, there are two things going on here. Parkrun has always said it's not a race, but they have all the trappings of a race. They have a start and finish line, timing, measured course, everybody sets off together, results in descending order of speed, etc., plus all these first finisher lists and so on. So what they've done is remove all this data, and that goes some way to proving that they are not a race, although we're told that they will retain results in descending order of speed, they'll still have a measured course and so on. But separately is the gender self-ID issue. Parkrun they have gender self-ID, not sex, for categories. That means any male is welcome to join the female category, and many have and still are. And that is unfair for females because males run on average 10% or more faster than females. So the consequence of this policy is things like, until all the data was wiped on Wednesday, at one point, 22 female records, that is outright plus age group records, were held by males. On more than 150 occasions, males have finished as first female. And this is obviously unfair for females because we're missing out on things of value. And I and others have been speaking up about it because we want fairness in the same way that males get at Parkrun. But Parkrun have not really addressed that issue. Their gender self-ID policy continues. Males are welcome in the female category. So the impact of that going forward will simply be hidden, I think, because all this data has been removed.
Yes, I know, Mara, because a lot of people, the Parkrun is supposed to be a fun activity at the weekend to do. But for a lot of people, it is a competitive exercise. Half of the enjoyment is seeing how you rank compared to other people on that day, compared to your female counterparts. In my case, I've done it a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. I've done a Parkrun, and I love seeing the stats there. Now, Parkrun, as Tom said, Parkrun are saying this has nothing to do with the issue of transgender inclusion in the female category. But it sounds as though they've been faced with this campaign from some females who say, hang on, trans women shouldn't be competing in the female category. And they've now taken this ridiculous decision to just scrap the stats from the website. That doesn't solve the problem, does it?
I think the beauty of Parkrun and why it's been so successful and much loved is that it caters for everybody. It caters for runners who don't want to exert themselves. They just want to jog around and chat with their friends. And that is absolutely fine if they want to do that. I'm not criticizing people who want to do that at all. It also catered for competitive people who may be at or near the front or may be in the middle or even towards the back of the field. Like, older runners, if they're giving it 100%, they might be running in a slow time. But for them, it's still competitive. And the age group records and so on would have meant a lot. Now, by removing all that data, they've made it less appealing to the competitive runners. And what I think they could have done, and perhaps should have done, is change their categories to sex at birth. This would have made everybody welcome, included, and it would have been fair for everybody, including females, and kept all their data. There is still the issue of it's not a race.
It would be strange to see trans women, perhaps who've been through hormone replacement therapy, perhaps who've changed a lot about the way that they live their lives, and to put them in the same category as men because that's their sex at birth. That doesn't sound particularly inclusive. Is there perhaps another way that they could have handled this?
There already exist 2 extra categories in Parkrun. One is called Another Gender Identity, and another is called Prefer Not to Say. So trans people and trans women are welcome and included. Nobody is stopping them. Nobody is telling them they're not welcome. They must be included. But trans women are biologically male. This is extremely important because your running ability is determined by your sex. How you identify, whether you have long hair, like to wear a dress, lipstick, whatever, is completely irrelevant. What matters is your sex. So
also, in this case, if there's already a third and a fourth category, then why on earth have Parkrun decided to do this? I mean, it boggles the mind. I'm really sorry, but that's all we've got time for, Mara. But it was great to speak to you, and good luck with it. Mara Yamauchi, former Olympian and long-distance runner. I just don't understand why Parkrun have done this, Tom. It makes absolutely no sense at all. Half of the fun is the competitive aspect.